Formula Drift, New Jersey history over the years. We made history yesterday, I'll tell you what. Just talking to a few drivers, including Shelly Hansen, talking to RCP, our judges, and Jacob Gettin sitting next to me, Ryan Sage, Chris Yule. Everybody, for the most part, came out unscathed. Flipped the car yesterday. That dirt grabbed her. She went up on the side. Here it is. So you see, bang, look at that.
Yeah.
Went on the side, just talked to her. You know, she's tough, man. Like I said, her spotter's like, dude, you need a nickname. And I was thinking about it. I was like, Hard Candy, dude, because she's a little
good,
sweet
yeah.
and she's got a hard shell. Well, there is just the beginning of a great piece on Hero Manoa, Jonathan Castro. Orlando always delivers, and so does E-Town. A very unassuming track, always creates a little bit of calamity. We saw it yesterday, but it was Mother Nature that did that. Now, boys are back in town, and the gals as well. Here we go. Kicking off our seeding brackets, Connor O'Sullivan. You see Jonathan Hurst, that Cash Racing, Mr. Cool. It is literally great weather, beautiful weather right now. And talking about, look at this, the smoke screen here, outside zone 2, O'Sully. But look at Cash, he is right there. Jonathan Hurst, excuse me, I always call him Jonathan Cash, but in that last outside zone, into that, all you want to do is advance onto the 8. If not, have a higher seeding number than the bottom group. So here we go, Jonathan Hurst, Mr. Cool, that Cadillac brings it into outside zone 2, set it and forget it, riding the line. That was solid, it is tucked into the pocket. Like you said, these guys, good friends, but bitter enemies right now. They want to just solidify their spot into tomorrow's main event. The Pride of Paducah brings it on home in that last outside zone. So here we go, slide him left for O'Sullivan, right for Jonathan Hurst. Looks like O'Sullivan gets the victory.
Yeah.
So both those guys making the jump from Prospect, and Shanahan jumping over the line. Here we go, Ryan Litteral, that Sunoco, the 909 S15 brings it in, taps the bumper, shreds the bumper in the face of the Corvette. The XPS vet now in that second outside zone. Litteral puts it right in the crease, big maxing out the angle, getting to the mud, throws it out there, and it looked like Tommy was trying to save it. Ryan just digs a little too deep, literally into the mud. Beautiful looking car, shreds the bumper, shreds that taillight. Tommy Lemaire. Yeah, I got a little it's golden right now. Here we go, Tommy Lemaire, Ryan Litteral coming down the pipe. Tommy Lemaire initiates that XPN Corvette, nice job. Ooh, dips in just a little bit, doesn't get very deep there, so you wonder if the car and that contact maybe affected him, but like you said, that hop right there, that killer crossover on that second outside zone, really got to get your suspension right, otherwise it's going to hop, skip, and jump your way off the track. There you go, past the mud people there on the on that last outside zone. Let's slide him left or right. Looks like right. Tommy Lemaire gets the victory. Look out. Andy Hateley, he's figured this car out. Like you said, he just had some contact with O'Sully right before we kick things off here, so hopefully he worked it out. Saito gets checked up a little bit. He was getting aggressive. Andy Hateley now transitions that second outside zone. The Evil AutoWorks BMW now wraps around that inside clip, both of them. Look at Daigo. I feel like he's surging there. And and that's where Andy went off before. Daigo Saito jumps up, Hateley goes off and impedes on Daigo. Here we go, baby, I was born to run with the bathing ape. Let's not bathe ape, let's sunbathe ape. With the Injuku Racing, Jerry Yang Racing, 86. Daigo Saito, man,
Yeah, here in the spot, as they call it too, came through that, the change in pavement there. The car looked like it locked up there for a second, but...
Dude, what is going on with outside zone 3?
Yeah,
you know, two grizzly dudes. You put them in the forest, I think they'd survive that kind of action. Here we go, Austin out front. Shanahan in the chase position. Austin brings in that first outside zone. Now into the second. Austin very clean. You can see Shanahan. You know, this is only his 4th round with this vehicle. So just getting his bearings. Awesome to campaigning this S chassis for quite some time. He gets into the mud. That thing snaps back. Wow, he was deep. You know, as Shanahan takes his by run, he'll advance on. But I would like to just see 32. Everybody's just locked in, and then it's just position.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. It's tough.
But that's motorsports. You know what you're getting involved in. If it's IndyCar, if it's F1 actually is a scenario similar to that. So you're in the race. It's just where you're at.
Well, it won't be. I mean, it won't be for long.
And we know what he's capable of. That's what's crazy, is he could use this as fuel for the fire. Look at that gangster flick into the outside zone 1. Almost phases Fetty. Fetty drops back quite a bit. And this is maybe what Jonathan Hurst was hoping for. Again, you don't want to see a victory like that, but Novak making it look really easy. Running his own game. Federico Sharifo stranded out there on Ferrari Island. Unfortunately, the Pennzoil Ferrari shuts it down. He does try to complete the rest of the course, but
if it means competing,
Hurst is.
Yeah, exactly.
Hurst is right now. All right, Federico Sharifo has got the clean air. This could change things up. And you know, how does Nick Novak approach this? Looks like he tiptoes to the side of that Ferrari, and he's rolling it into the second outside zone. Fetty looking good right now. Good placement of the car. He is sideways, dials it in on that front clip. Minimal corrections going past that inside. Oh, when he gets to the dirt. All right, we got to slide him left for Nick Novak, getting the victory unanimously. Dan Burkett, Osoli here, coming through the start chicane. No cones hit, no cones hurt. All right, that Mark IV Toyota Supra, great looking vehicle. It backs it in, hits that wall, bounces back. Osoli tucks in the United States Army BMW in the outside zone 2, settled. Set it and forget it right there, bouncing his way, hop, skip, and a jump. Little pogo ball for those that have a bad back now. You're old enough to remember. Into that last outside zone 3. There goes Dan Burkett, Rad Industries. Boom. Looks like they got that grip. Yeah. Very, very different in contrast to what we saw from Daigo Saito going to that. All right, here we go. Osoli will lead Dan Burkett, giving chase. United States Army BMW out front, initiates aggressively. Boom, puts it in there. Rad Dan just hating that back bumper. He bashes it in. I don't know if that's going to favor well for him. That didn't look like Osoli led him into the wall. He was just aggressive on initiation, but we'll take a different glance. Yeah. Again, at first glance, just Osoli, like we said, talking about going for that Rookie of the Year, making the jump. Talk to you. So Dan, okay, wow. So at first glance, and that's what I love about this. They went into the weeds of it. Burkett will go against one of these guys, TLO or Daigo Saito. Japan versus Canada, Japan versus American car. Here we go, Daigo Saito, first outside zone, good placement of the vehicle. Tommy Lemaire, a little bit disrupted there on that transition into the second outside zone. Daigo very settled, very, you can see, calculated, calm. Tommy Lemaire in that chase position, drops in. Daigo Saito scared of that dirt. He got into it a couple times there, but
we'll swap him around.
Let's see what TLO's got for Daigo Saito. We got a clean start there. Tommy really flirting with that start chicane cone. Tommy digs deep in that first outside zone. Daigo Saito a little late to the party, but then brings it on into the second outside zone. Good placement by both the vehicles there. Tommy Lemaire confident out front with that clean air. It seems like maybe just a little bit more horsepower. Then Daigo comes into outside zone 3. Look at Tommy, boom, bang, just almost a V, not so much a sweeping rainbow. Okay. Slide him left for Daigo, right for TLO. Japan versus Canada, and Daigo Saito gets a 1. Tommy gets 1, and one more time. The one more time of TLO and Daigo Saito. So Dan Burkett intended to go against one of these drivers after a one more time. Both these guys locked and loaded, and tapping that wall goes Daigo Saito into the second outside zone. Tommy Lemaire, you see, checks up. He's not totally into the outside zone. Towards the latter half, you see him being more aggressive now. Pass, transition into that last outside zone goes Daigo. And so here you go, Tommy Lemaire, the two-faced Corvette, will get the advancement. He is intended to go against Dan Burkett. Don't know, again, if Burkett will compete with the situation of the vehicle.
Yeah, and if he doesn't, I mean, this is a straight run here for Tommy Lemaire. Getting to throw down and really figure out a couple more things with that car. Taking it pretty cautious through that last outside zone. And
yeah, Rod drifted a RX-8 that Tony Angelo eventually bought. The Grenade RX-8. Wow, throwback. Sorry. Dimitri Brutskiy, Shanahan, all BMW, and a fierce battle. Brutskiy drops in, no problem for him. Here comes Shanahan. Oh, that transition. You always talk about it. There it is once again. The Irish transition. Oh, man. That was so clean, so tidy. Look at that. Put a mint on his pillow like a service maid. In that last outside zone, Brutskiy rides that line, flirts with the dirt. The condition changes, the surface changes. So I think Jack can put down, you know, boom, right there. Sucks that back bumper up to the wall. Brutskiy, like I said, he knows this course. Look at Shanahan flirting with the edge of the course. Bro, relax. This is seeding brackets. This isn't even competition, but this is good exercise. This is, you know, him getting used to that muscle memory, getting it dialed in. Shanahan, a heater of a lead run, and Brutskiy, like I said, he knows this course. Got Connor, his bro, cheering on Jack, and look at this, Jack Shanahan gets it done. And Novak chasing him down. So Team Hansen slides into that first outside zone. Now ripping into the second. Novak a little delayed on the transition in, but gets into that pocket. Mimics the angle there. That's what I was talking about, the transition past the inside clip. Nudges it out of the way, shoots it in, and looks like a hand sticking out, but that is a trim piece coming off of his front A-pillar.
And gain a lot of speed and get some separation.
Yeah, having the clean air, this is really good practice for him to get dialed because he is in tomorrow's main event. So as you can see, just rips on in the Kenda tires, grabbing that traction, going to the second outside zone. Hansen's into that struggling to just get back to that pocket, and Novak really maxing out the angle there into this last outside zone, and Novak brings it in, keeps it off the wall. Hansen, we got nose to nose, and explodes that front bumper. I think it was a little more dramatic than it actually was. Nick Novak does get the win here. So I've known that dude a long time. Excited. Everybody's got a story, man, and here we are to tell it. Nick Novak, Jack Shanahan. Novak initiating Kenda Tires BMW. Coming into that first outside zone. Ooh, look at, there it is. Jack drops into formation, but maybe just a little too hard. Has to come out of it. Novak a lot smoother there in the lead position. He's got the clean air. Shanahan does bounce back. He does revive. And he does survive and thrive. Into that last outside zone 3. Novak and Shanahan tucked in.
When we swap this back around, Jack's got a bit of work to do.
Yeah.
But when
like I said, confidence.
Yeah.
This is a confidence booster here. Jack Shanahan out front. He is out front, no problem. Clean air. Nick Novak tucks in. Look at the aggressiveness by both these guys. This is a really fun, good battle. Shanahan on that right-hand drive. BMW brings it through the second. Looks like he does knock over cone there. Back in the backdrop into the last outside zone. Dancing with the edge. Wrapping out. So slide him left for Novak, slide him right for Shanahan. That's a one more time. A Shanahan and a one more time. Here we go. Nick Novak, Jack Shanahan. Here they go. The Kenda Tires BMW initiates in that first outside zone. Good fluidity there and aggressive. Wants to solidify and get the victory here. Shanahan dives in. A little bit short there on that second outside zone, but now finds himself into the pocket. Past the inside clip, and there goes Novak. Oh, right on the course's edge. Holds on loosely and doesn't let go.
Holy cow, it's going to be a problem.
Unleash the hounds. Here we go. Jack Shanahan, look at that. A lot of handbrake there, bringing it into that first outside zone. That allowed Novak to get in there and get that dog in the fight. Novak and not backing down. Man, throw a T in there, not back. Yes, sir. And now in that last outside zone, Shanahan. This is, man, guys, this is a great way, again, to really spar.
That would constitute.
You want one good fluid movement.
Right, exactly.
All right, there we go. I love that. I love that you're driving. Here we go. These are our finals here for our pro seeding bracket. Shanahan initiates TLO. Maybe still having those tie rod issues, but this let's just keep it off the wall. Let's keep it consistent. Again, this is for 3 points richer if you get the victory. Again, every victory in seeding brackets is 3 points. So you want to keep it off the wall, keep it so you can have that main day.
Previously.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we go. Tommy Lemaire in the Corvette initiates. Bounces his way into that first outside zone. Shanahan tucks in. Gives himself a little bit of room here. Not as aggressive as we saw with him against Novak. Maybe a spotter kind of telling him, all right, let's lay out cars. Maybe not 100. But now in that last outside zone, there goes Tommy Lemaire into it. And a great placement by the car with that clean air. Dan Burkett down there as well. See Rad Dan getting third place here because he is their #1 seeded driver. So Red Dan Burkett, congratulations, Dan. And now our winner of our pro seeding brackets. And again, 3 points richer for getting the victory here over the competitor. And our pro seeding brackets unanimously goes to Jack Shanahan. Jack Shanahan gets the victory. Shanahan gets the win over TLO. Tommy Lemaire, second place. Rad Dan Burkett getting third place in our seeding brackets. Congratulations to him. Let's make it official. And there it is unanimously with Vernon, Brian Egger, and Reese Marin.